Donald Trump once said, "America would never be outplayed again, that its allies would stand firm, and that China would be cornered, contained, and isolated." But today, in the heart of New Delhi, that dream is collapsing in real time. For the first time in over 3 years, China's top diplomat has stepped foot in India, and he wasn't met with silence or suspicion. He was welcomed.
The Chinese foreign minister has landed in India. He's been received in the national capital there. Those are pictures of Wang Yi getting a welcome at the airport and sitting in his car, and he will proceed to his first official engagement there. That's the foreign minister of China, who's just boarded that car on landing in the national capital. First engagement will be to meet External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar. He will meet the Prime Minister tomorrow.
Handshake, cameras, and quiet smiles, the kind that say more than any press conference ever could. Because what happened in that room wasn't a simple visit. It was a signal that the world Trump tried to control is now moving on without him. India, the partner Washington once counted on to balance China's rise, is no longer playing by America's rules. It's choosing independence. And in doing so, it's triggering the single biggest geopolitical shock of Trump's lifetime, a $1.6 trillion trade realignment that's rewriting the global map. For decades, India and China have been rivals, separated by history, ideology, and blood. The 1962 border war left deep scars. The 2020 clashes froze relations. India banned Chinese apps, blocked investments, and tilted toward Washington. But today, that story is changing. Flights are being restored. Trade routes once shut by border tensions are reopening. And for the first time in years, Beijing is lifting restrictions on key fertilizer ingredients, vital for India's farmers. A quiet but unmistakable gesture of trust. Trump never saw this coming, because his foreign policy wasn't built on respect, it was built on pressure. Tariffs slapped on allies and rivals alike, ultimatums dressed up as diplomacy, and loyalty demanded, not earned. Mr. Trump, you believed fear would keep your partners in line, but what you built was resentment, and it's coming home to roost. Now, instead of isolating Beijing, Washington is watching as India, once its strongest Asian ally, quietly drifts toward the very power it was supposed to counter. For years, India's relationship with China was locked in deep freeze. Hostility at the border, economic decoupling, a digital war waged through banned apps and investment bans. But behind the scenes, the ice was already cracking. India's energy lifeline, Russian crude, survived because Beijing refused to join Western sanctions. And when Washington tried to force New Delhi to stop buying that oil,
I don't think we have. I've been very disappointed that India would be buying so much oil, as you know, from Russia. And I let them know that. We put a very big tariff on India, 50% tariff, very high tariff. I get along very well with Modi, as you know. He's great. He was here a couple of months ago.
India pushed back. That was the breaking point. America's threats of sanctions shattered the illusion of partnership, and Beijing, patient as ever, stepped into the vacuum with a simple offer: cooperation, not coercion. Flights, fertilizer, trade routes, they were symbols, not of friendship, but of leverage. And in geopolitics, leverage is everything. This is the subtle art of China's diplomacy. While Washington lectures, Beijing listens. While America warns, China invests. And for India, facing its own domestic inflation and resource constraints, the choice is no longer ideological, it's practical. To understand how America lost this leverage, we need to rewind back to the Trump era. Steel tariffs that alienated allies like Canada and the EU. Aluminum duties that sparked retaliatory measures across Asia. Oil deregulation that flooded markets, driving down prices and destabilizing domestic producers. And farm bailouts that cost taxpayers billions. Temporary relief for a wound that never healed. Each move was sold as strength. Each headline called it America first. But in reality, it isolated the US economically and politically, pushing nations like India to look elsewhere. Mr. Trump, your war on trade wasn't a strategy. It was a warning to the world that America could no longer be trusted to play fair. Now, as the US debt spirals past $34 trillion and the credit market trembles, America is learning a hard truth. You can't lead the world by threatening it. You lead by earning its confidence, and Washington has lost that confidence. Here lies the heart of the transformation. China's trade with the global south, nations across Africa, Latin America, and Asia, has exploded to over $1.6 trillion a year. That's more than it trades with the US and Europe combined. This isn't coincidence, it's strategy. When Trump imposed tariffs, Beijing pivoted. When Washington withdrew, China expanded. Ports in Kenya, railways in Pakistan, 5G towers in South America. Each project a thread in a web of influence the US can no longer untangle. Even the electric vehicle revolution, once an American dream, now wears a Chinese badge. Over 60% of global EVs come from Chinese factories, and Beijing is exporting entire manufacturing ecosystems abroad. In Brazil, Mexico, and Thailand, new Chinese EV plants are rising, creating jobs, infrastructure, and loyalty. This isn't just trade, it's diplomacy by design. Every new factory ties another economy to Beijing's success, a bond no tariff or sanction can break. The implications are massive. If India and China continue down this path, the BRICS alliance could evolve from a loose coalition into a genuine counterweight to Western dominance. Russia supplies the energy, Brazil provides food, South Africa brings resources, and now India and China, the twin engines of Asia, could provide the scale and technology. Together, they would represent over half the world's population and a trade network that dwarfs anything Washington can assemble. Mr. Trump, this is the world your tariffs built. A world where America no longer writes the rules, it reacts to them. A world where the US dollar's dominance is questioned, not by its enemies, but by the very partners it took for granted. And while Washington debates, the rest of the planet is moving forward, quietly, strategically, and decisively. The United States is learning what empires always learn too late, that power isn't about fear, it's about trust. And when that trust is lost, the world doesn't stop, it simply moves on. The New World Order isn't coming someday, it's already here. And for the first time in generations, America isn't leading it. If this breakdown helped you, hit like, subscribe, and hit the bell.